Working hard to make America great again for all dogs, it's the Digger Digger Doggos podcast.
All right, well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Triple D's. And today, we are blessed and super excited to have this beautiful woman sitting in the middle of the two of us. This is Saylan. Say hello to our listeners, Saylan.
Hi, guys.
So happy to have her with us today. So this is our third episode, and we are going to be talking about fostering today. But as you know, we like to start every podcast with a little something to drink. So Yuki, what are we drinking today?
We're drinking some shoju.
Okay, so what is that? Because I don't actually know what that is.
It's kind of like a stronger type of sake.
Okay. And I think this is a leftover Christmas present that we're cracking into here at the old Foster house. Yeah, it's been a little hectic. We've had some sick doggos here, so a good stiff shot might do us all some good.
He's not stingy with a shot.
All right, you ready? Cheers. Thanks, Saylan,
If you want refills, let me know.
Triple D, baby.
Yay.
I think Yuki's the only one sipping.
Oh, are we supposed to sip that?
I do.
It's actually really good. It's very lemony,
This
super
shows
sweet.
who's used to sipping some good
Wow,
stuff.
I thought that was going to be sweet.
Yeah.
Saylan and I'll take a little bit more, but then we'll get going. Not to shoot, just to sip. How about that?
All right.
All right, guys. So like I said, today's podcast, we're going to be talking about fostering. And Saylan, why don't you just quickly, how did we meet?
We met while we were working at in Hermosa. Yeah. I think so, Hermosa, yes.
What is that restaurant we worked at together?
It was a fine dining restaurant / wine cellar / fashion boutique.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. I forgot. It was everything.
That covers everything.
That you just needed to go to that one spot and then you were there forever. And that was how many years ago? I've known you for how long?
Lord. At least that long. I've been with my husband for 14 years, so but going on 15. So at least I would say close to 18 years ago. 18 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And that's what, like, when you connect with people like Saylan and then you start working in the crazy doggo world together, it keeps you connected for sure. And then Saylan also has a wonderful catering business that we could mention.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah. Well, tell us just quickly about that.
So I have a home-based catering, dessert, meal prep, all the above, whatever. And actually crafts, too. I forgot about that.
What's the name of it?
It's called Sweetie's Wine. You can follow it on Instagram. It's _Piggy Prep. It's a little bit of everything. I also do, like, dogs and cat treats and stuff like that. Whatever my animal needs, whatever we need, whatever people recommend me doing, I just said, okay, why not? Let's give it a try.
Yeah, I
So it
love
just
that.
expands. It just keeps going.
That's great. And when you're fostering those dogs, you can test out some of those doggy treats with them, huh?
Yeah, they're definitely the best testers.
Dogs will eat anything, right? But
Mines
they'll also
are
let
not.
you know.
Mines are super picky. I wish mines would eat everything. Mines are super picky.
Oh, they are. Well, then you know if you have a good product or not.
Oh yeah, it's called solid meat. no veggie, no grains, just any kind of meat, just solid meat.
I think the girls have taken over this episode. How you doing over
Actually,
there?
Molly, who I take along with me to go buy the food from Saylan once a week, she loves Saylan's treats for dogs.
I know she definitely gets a heaping handful every time.
Yeah, we love it. My dogs
She
have had some
definitely
as
looks
well.
forward to going and visit Saylan every week.
All right. Well, we're definitely glad you're here. Thanks for driving out. So again, we're talking about fostering today. So what exactly is fostering? And I think, and I want you guys to jump in for sure, but fostering is such an incremental necessity in order for, especially rescues. I mean, myself being we talked about this before, a 501c3 rescue, and we're strictly foster based. There's really no way to get dogs out of shelters or to help dogs without really good fosters. And what that means is, somebody opens up their home and they take a dog into that environment in order to help that dog decompress, learn how to become part of a home. They'll walk that dog. Maybe if there's other dogs in the home, they'll, transition that dog into being part of a pack. But it's super important because, again, it allows that dog to start to become a part of a home environment and how to learn to actually be a dog. And some dogs, stay in our shelters for months to, some of our environments, dogs stay in them for years, and so when they get fostered and they get to go into a home, they really do learn how to be a dog. And again, for a rescue, it's super important because to take a dog out of a shelter and then to put it in boarding is incredibly expensive, and it's also very, very stressful for the dog. And for us as a rescue, we have a very solid foster agreement. So fostering is something that you really need to take seriously. So if somebody's even interested in fostering one of our dogs, we send them the agreement first so they can take a look at it. Oh my gosh, our attorney just redid it. I was like, I wouldn't want to foster for my rescue. It's pretty intense, but you want people to take it seriously because it's a big responsibility and it is a very, very big commitment. Do you guys want to jump in, add anything about fostering?
I actually foster medical and emergency, so I think that's a different type of fostering because I would take in like bottle feeders I fostered Jessie and her baby.
Yes.
Well, Jessie's baby when she had surgery and she couldn't
That's right, you
bottle
sure
feed.
did.
Yeah, so, and I also take in, I think to me, fostering, and I like rescue that takes in cases that nobody would take, like injured cases. Like my last pity was, got shot in the head and they were looking for a foster for her to decompress, like a temp. I was her temp foster.
Yeah.
But it ended up being a little longer, and then she had a little separation anxiety with me, so they had to take her to board and training. And I mean, it's a great outcome because she needed to trust other people besides me because it was either I adopted her or she would just never just stay with me as a foster forever. And I'm just not ready personally to adopt another dog anytime soon. So with fostering medical, I would like to say it's a whole different ballgame because if you don't foster that dog more than likely will die.
That's right.
Or that cat will more than likely die. So you have to like take it, and then fostering medical is a little more intense because you're up with them like around the clock. Bottle babies get fed every 2 hours. I'm very blessed. I don't have to stimulate poo and pee. My dogs, they got that.
Yeah, right. Because when you bring in like puppies,
they got that. They do it to the cats too.
Yeah,
that's
and
why
it's natural. It's a natural instinct, right? It's amazing.
So I love and I'm beyond thankful that I just have to wake up and feed them the bottle, and my dog is like, "Oh, I got the mom." I'm like, "Cool, you do the dirty."
You do the pee and poo part.
Yeah.
So how long did you foster that Pitty for? How long did you have her?
4 months.
Yeah, 4 months.
And then she went to board and training, and she's in her foster to adopt home.
That's great. And so that's what I was saying. Like, it is definitely a commitment, and I'm sure the rescue paid for supplies, right? And
They
the
do.
board and train.
I try not. The board and train they definitely did.
Yeah.
I try not to, because rescue has some rescue have bigger budget than other rescues.
Right.
They're sponsored by, like food organizations. Like unfortunately, my pity was sponsored with Foodwise, but other rescue isn't. Like other rescue is so small, they don't have the budget. The budget comes out of your expense, whatever your donation, more than likely your personal income.
Right.
So if I know like there's anything I could do, like when she's with me, I don't mind doing the food. I don't mind doing all the necessities she needs. Like she loves the water. She hates being bathed. So she eats like 4 or 5 pool, So like, I'm like, and like I was telling you guys, like, oh my gosh, she just eats a pool every 2 weeks. So whatever.
Oh, she liked a kiddie pool?
No, she, those dog like collapsible pool.
Oh, yeah. So she liked that?
Yeah, she likes jumping in and out of it, but
Okay.
eventually she'll like jump where it collapses or she'll eat it,
Yeah.
But I didn't mind it that he was like, oh, I should get one for Molly and them. And he was like, maybe I just get a kiddie pool. They're cheaper. I was like, well, I don't think it'll last her. And she's kind of big. The kiddie pool wouldn't.
Should probably chew on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Molly
wouldn't
would
last.
definitely chew on it.
So I would say, yes, most rescue do try to, make sure that you don't have anything out of your pocket, right? All the vetting is for sure.
For sure.
But like I said, if you if you as a foster who can take on a little bit of that responsibility to help the rescue, and if it doesn't hurt your budget, then why not at the same time, especially if you know the rescue could use the extra help on someone else that really couldn't financially help them in any way.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, and I think that's great. And you're one of those people, you have such a big heart that I know you're willing to go above and beyond. But I would encourage people, if you want to foster a dog, especially if it's your first time fostering, really have those like hard conversations with the rescue. Like ask them, what is the expectation? How long do you expect me to need to foster this dog? I also tell people that are considering fostering if they can go to the shelter, or if it's a rescue that has a facility, go and meet that dog to make sure that they're comfortable with the dog, that it's a good fit. Rescues will, like we would always do a home check. We would go to the home, make sure, there are locks on the gate and like the home is secure for the dog, because dogs coming out of very stressful environments might want to escape or try to escape just because they're anxious. We do provide, crates if needed, food, definitely medical expenses. Any dog coming out of a shelter environment should go immediately or as soon as possible to that rescue's vet, just to make sure that the dog is healthy, and especially if you're bringing in a dog into a home with other dogs, possibly cats. So again, fostering is opening up your home. It's providing that love, that safety, that consistency so a dog can decompress. And then from that point, the rescue will help to network that dog, or will network that dog through social media. Some of the bigger rescues do adoption events.
They do.
And then hopefully, that dog gets adopted sooner rather than later, because that is the goal. But just know that fostering can be, like 4 months. That's a pretty lengthy amount of time. I mean, we had a dog, Ace, here, and I know we're going to talk about our favorite fostering experiences, but he was here for, I think, 2 years.
I had Geo for over a year, but he was in his first home for a year and a half. But
Yeah.
I was still part of his life because it was not a great fit, but it was better than a kennel life. Does it make sense?
That's right.
I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, no, it does. It makes sense, because having a dog again in a home allows that dog to learn how to be in a home. But again, if you're thinking about doing it, talk to the rescue that you would like to foster for. I know LA County, they have fostering capabilities through our shelters. I believe they're still doing that.
Yeah, you can go into each shelter that you're interested in, apply to be a foster.
Yeah, apply to be a foster.
And then they'll
again,
link you with the rescue.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and rescues really can't do it without. And it's unfortunate sometimes fostering doesn't work out. We actually had a dog here, and I will be honest, I overextended myself. And my dogs, are seniors at this point, and this dog was a fantastic dog, but she was not a fit for where we are currently in terms of like lifestyle and my dog's energy level. Now, this dog belongs to somebody, so she was able to go back to her owner. But when you take a dog out of a shelter to go into a foster environment, rescues really, really, really depend on that. And I think every rescue has had a challenge with fosters deciding at some point that they just don't want to foster anymore. And it really does put rescues in a bind, because then we have to find alternate housing for those dogs. But it's really rewarding. And I tell you what, your fosters will never forget you. Like when you see your foster dog again.
Oh, I see them all the time.
Yeah, right? And don't they always remember you?
Yeah, I'm actually visiting my longest
do.
foster this weekend.
Yeah, it's such an emotional, beautiful thing, because it is one of the most integral parts of saving a dog's life. It kind of drives me crazy when you see on social media, everybody's like, go get the dog, save the dog, and it's like rescues are like, well, we want to save the dog, but we need somebody to take that dog into their home. And that's what fostering is. And again, most rescues will provide at least the initial bag of food, crates if needed, toys, blankets, definitely medical. A foster should never pay for any type of medical. If there is any type of training that's needed, the rescue should pay for that as well. Yuki, how you doing over there?
Oh, pretty good.
Do you want to add anything?
Yes.
Okay.
My experience with fostering, I've taken in like emergency type fosters where there was no place for them to go from with the rescue. They would reach out and say, hey, this is an emergency. I have no one else. Please. and some of them would be medical issues. And I do say yes, and it's been a great experience so far. It's not easy. It's not a typical foster where they're healthy and young and, there's no problems. But the ones with medical issues, it is more work. But you have to, in your own soul and mind, know that you have to commit and come prepared to take care of those kind of fosters. In this foster house here, I've had 3 sets of litters come through, and they were basically emergency type fostering because there was no other foster available to take in the mom and the pups, or the mom too soon to give birth type situation. So I understood how serious the situation was, so I took them in. And I'm not asking all the fosters to do these kind of things because it's a lot of work.
It is.
But if you can commit and you're dedicated, it is very rewarding when you succeed in raising a litter of pups that get adopted all out. I think that's probably the most rewarding things I've done for fostering moms with litters.
Yeah, it's amazing to see those little puppies kind of grow up in front of your eyes. And I think at one point, every inch of this house, like each bathroom had a dog in there. Each bedroom had like moms and puppies. So like, you both have said, it is definitely a lot of work. And when you're committing to a rescue specifically, or a medical dog, or a mom that is about to have puppies or has just had puppies, at that point, you're basically committing to at least 8 to 9 weeks because the mom has to be able to nurse the puppies in a safe, healthy, quiet, clean environment. And by the 8th or 9th week, those puppies can, ideally start to get adopted out. But it is definitely a commitment, but again, very, very rewarding. So, Saylan, what is one of your favorite fostering experiences that you've had?
I would just have to say Geo. I'm actually seeing him Sunday with his mom. He was a dog.
Which one? What's his name?
Geo. Sergio from.
Oh, okay.
Geo. So
What kind of dog is it?
Pit bull, great
Okay.
pit. Well,
We
he's a
love our
pit bull
pets.
lab, but he was labeled as a great pit. He was actually a waiver dog.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys are familiar with waiver dog. Waiver dogs is a dog that the rescue has to sign a waiver saying that this dog cannot be adopted to a home without with kids, with cats, with other pets, with anything, cannot go to adoption events, with anything. If they have to have their own, if they do adoption event, it has to be the only dog there for that adoption event, which makes him harder
Of course, very hard.
to adopt.
Yep.
So Gio was a waiver dog that had kennel cough. Him and Mikey. I don't know if you remember Blockhead Mikey, because you volunteer.
For 5 years, yeah.
Yeah. So Blockhead Mikey and Gio had kennel cough together, and
Don't they all have kennel cough
and yeah.
when they leave?
So he was pulled. They were asking for help and whatever, and she said she'll pull him, but they needed, since they had kennel cough, they needed to go to a doctor right away, right? That's
Sure.
part of their
It's very
waiver,
contagious, yeah, for
waiver
sure.
agreement with the shelter too, that they need to seek
Yeah,
medical
because they'll
attention.
leave on medical waivers.
Yeah,
That's right.
then
yeah.
they have to be presented to some kind of admission to a vet within the next 48 hours or something
Pretty
like that?
much. As
Yeah.
soon as you can get the dog in, absolutely.
So Nancy had reached out to me, and during this time, like, I'm Buddhist, so I always believe in like everything happens for a reason. My husband's business was getting audited, so I was like, babe, we should just sponsor these 2 dogs, right? Like for goodwill, like, like good things will happen back, right? So I don't know how many medical dog I sponsor. So we
Don't put
sponsored.
it out there too much. And then
Not anymore, guys. Not anymore. But so I was like, babe, let's just sponsor these 2 dogs. So we agreed to take care of Mikey and Gio's medical. I got them linked up with my vet. My
expensive,
vet,
yeah.
So we paid for all their medical and boarding at my vet until their kennel cough was done. And then, so my vet took them in right away. And then my vet calls me, like I have a special relationship. My vet, he goes, Sergio is not letting us go near his cage. He's lunging at it. Mikey's fine. Da 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 da. We cannot walk him and pee him. Da da da. I was like, okay. So I was like, I'll just get off early and from work and I'll go take him. So every day I would leave, and I worked in Gardena at the time, leave Gardena to go to Garden Grove. Or go to work early, get off work early, go and walk him, go whatever. And he was fine with me, but he wasn't fine with everyone else. And I was just like, and then you started to realize he was just very aggressive because
That's right.
he's been bit. He has like bite marks all over his back that is like so deep and so like keloid. He has cauliflower ears from being someone chewing on his ear, you know? So I was like, okay. And then she was like, they're going to need board and training. So I was like, crap. So I was like, okay, so I told my husband, we committed to this, so we're going to pay for their board and training.
Yeah, right. And
No, we did.
And there goes
We're
the
a sucker.
snowball. It's like, oh
So,
my gosh.
we took
because
him-
that's what could potentially can happen. You know, because dogs can start to display
Yeah.
some sort of fear-based, like you said, reactivity, where all of a sudden it's like you're leaving work and you're going to walk a dog, and you're leaving work and you're going, and it's
It's
a lot.
overwhelming, but
Yep.
I have this special bond with Geo from the
Yeah,
start.
for
I don't
sure.
know what it was. So I was like, I'm committed to this dog. So I was like, okay. So I contact from I was like, hey, can you take in? She's like, I don't have room. And I was like, it's for me. Can you do it for me? She's like, fine.
Please.
She was like, fine, I'll take him. So she took them both. And then Mikey had an adopter interest, but Geo never did. And it was harder because he was a waiver dog.
Of course.
So she had him for a long time. And then she had something happen. I don't want to get into the detail, but she was like, hey, I can't get a hold of the rescue and I need Geo off the premises for a bit. Can't get a hold of the rescue. And I came every week for his, they do like weekend course for like the fosters or the whatever, or the rescue for free. So I would come to Santa Clarita every week, every Sunday, and do the training course with Geo just to see him and another dog that I was hoping that end up adopting. She ended up adopting that dog. So I was like, okay, so I would see them every Sunday I would come. So I was like, okay, and I couldn't get a hold of the rescue. So I was like, call my vet. I was like, hey, I don't know how long, but Geo needs to come back and board with you. And he was like, well, we're going to have the problem with him walking. I said, no, he's been in boarding training. He's been around people. He'll let you walk him. He's fine. So we take him to my vet for a month. And then when it's situated, I had a friend that said, hey, there's a home. Her neighbor just lost their American Bulldog. And they were looking for a dog.
Oh, wow.
And he had no pet. He had no kids. Then he was like, oh, but they're on a low income. You know, they can't really afford any of Geo's care, but they would like a dog. So it's like either take him back to boarding training at
That's
a
right.
crate or to give him a home. So I said, okay, I'll commit to paying all his medical, whatever Geo needs. And he always needs, he has a cauliflower ear, so he always needs deep ear cleaning,
Treatment,
clear
yeah.
ear infection. So I was like, okay, I'll pay for all his food, whatever is needed to give him a home. So he lived there for like a year and a half. It's funny because they live down the street from me now. And he would get out it was like 6 months into it, he got out. And then I was like, okay, and then like
What do you mean escape like the yard?
escape the yard.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, why didn't you guys change the microchip info? Why is the microchip info still the rescue info? And I had put me as a secondary in his primary, on his microchip, because I was like, no, there's no way in hell I'm not going to be on his microchip, right? So they would call me and they would call me, and then I would go get him on. And then I was like, dude, why doesn't he have a tag on? And I got him a tag with both our number. And I asked him to update I updated his microchip to his owner's info. And then he got out again and the owner changed phone number and the only working number was mine. It was every month.
Okay,
I
does
would-
this story end well?
Oh, yeah. Like every month he got out, it's to the point where I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. It's like either you commit to like fixing your yard
That's
or
right.
taking him seriously. It's not that I want him to have a home, but I can't be worried about him when you tell me he's out and I don't know where he's at
Getting
for
hit by a
days.
car,
Yeah.
something
But, you know, I've seen him escape. He's an escape artist. He knows how to look at both ways of the street before he crosses. I've never seen a dog done that in my life
Do
until...
they still have them?
No, he got adopted. So I took him back. He got back into the shelter.
Oh, jeez. They
And
picked him
then
up.
they picked him up this time
Okay.
and they didn't release him because he got out too many times. So they had to do a home check.
That's right.
So with the home check, I had a feeling like if they said he needed to fix something, I was like, in my gut, I was like, he's not going to
not
fix
gonna do
crap. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go to the shelter. So I go and talk to them and I was like, hey, can I put myself as his, like, as someone that's interested in adopting him? And he goes, oh, you can't, that he has an owner. I said, but his microchip is registered to me. Like, I'm his
Then you're
Yeah, so like,
technically
yeah,
his
so I'm
owner.
technically his
Yeah,
owner, right?
legally, actually.
Yeah, so I was like, okay. So he's like, okay. And then like right when I go, he goes, hey, they just did the home check at the place. They said they're not gonna fix their home. They're gonna surrender the dog. And I said, that's fine. So let's just go ahead and like I'll bring his paperwork and stuff. She's like, oh, we gotta give him vaccine. I said, no, I just got him his vaccine last month. I'm not gonna over vaccinate him. That's not a good thing. So I brought his vaccine record and stuff. I said, I'm gonna get him tomorrow. And he's like, oh, the next day I said, no, I'm getting him tomorrow because he doesn't need any vaccine. So why does he need to be here longer? And, whatnot. So when he got entered back in, he was no longer a waiver dog.
Oh, so you just go in and adopt him?
I could adopt him. So he was never labeled a waiver dog anymore.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to do the single adoption by himself. I didn't have to worry about him being in a home that was the only pet, only whatever. And so we brought Geo back. And he became best friend with my cat, my 20-year-old cat.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
You just never quite
He's
know.
the best with he's great with little dog. He's selective with big dog because he's been abused, and that's a given. The size matters to him, reactive dogs.
Right.
He's great with kids. My goddaughter would crawl in his crate and just pull his tail, whatever. He didn't care. He just loves kid, So he got adopted to an amazing lady that I can't be more thankful for what she's done for him. Yeah. He's 13. She's adopted. She's had him for almost 4 years. He started having I forget what's the condition where his spinal cord becomes a little compressed and he has hard time walking. Yeah. So he would have loose stool and diarrhea. She would clean him. She had a mobile vet came and give him shots and acupuncture every week because he couldn't get out. She did 5 root canals for him. Wow. And the rescue had offered to do a fundraiser. She's like, it's okay, it's my baby, I'll take care of it. She's always said from day one, this is this is our baby, it's both our sons. So if everything goes wrong with him, she'll message me. If she goes out of town, he'll come stay. I just messaged her today. I'm like, oh, the holiday's over. I was wondering if I could see Geo because I don't know how much. He's 13, how longer he has, So she's like, yeah, we'd love to see you. So I'm bringing my chihuahuas over to hang out with him on Sunday with his mom, and he has the best life. It's not a great start, but I guess the longest foster I have is, and the one that the hardest to let go. I really wanted to adopt Geo, but my shepherd didn't accept him.
That's right. Yep.
And to me, it's my shepherd was the asshole, not Geo. But the fact that those are my pack, you can't break your pack.
You can't break your pack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even though your pack is the problematic one.
These dogs are the problem. But you know what? That's such a beautiful story because you fostered the dog. And then the dog got a home, and then the dog went back to the shelter, and then you got the dog back out. And these are things that happen sometimes. It's and when you're committed to that dog like you were, then you saw it through. And even though it the story kind of went around the block a couple times in terms of, you said, the start of it, but what a beautiful ending. And
he has the best life.
The best life. That's right.
The best life and the best mom for
And without
him.
you initially stepping up and saying, you know what, like you said, your husband, hey, babe, let's do this, he would have probably not even made it out of the shelter. And I do want to say you brought up 2 really good points. One of them is registering the microchip. Myself, my rescue, the second that dog is out of that shelter, if the dog is going into a foster home, we are primary on the chip. And once the dog gets adopted, the adopter is primary. We stay secondary on the chip, but that chip gets registered right away. So these are things also to think about and to ask, the rescue if you decide to foster. And the other great point that you brought up was having a collar with an ID tag on. It's super important. We have, I think not Angel maybe, but Jessie, she's not here with us, but she has one of our Earth Angels tags on, and that's in our paperwork. It's a collar with an ID tag has to stay on that dog all the time. So 2 really good points that you brought up, because sometimes, like we talked about in the beginning, dogs can escape, and without any type of ID, and especially if the chip is not registered, that's a real challenge.
If the chip doesn't scan, it moves.
That's right. Chips come out sometimes. They don't scan them in the field. So you'll have to, when you go on Sunday, send us some pictures and we can post them in the podcast so we can see your boy, your favorite boy. That's a beautiful story. And that's your heart, though. I mean, I've known you a long time.
He is definitely my heart. I have pictures of him. My goddaughter is 5 and 7. So I've had pictures of him when she's like 2, in a tent with earphones on with him, and their parents are anti-pit bull,
Yeah.
and they just love Geo because he was the dog that changed that whole
The
statistic.
stigma.
Yeah,
The stigma.
That whole thing for them. They're like, oh my god, they were like, oh, when they first met him, and they're like, what the heck? My dog's pulling on his tail. He doesn't care. I said, no, like once you help build that confidence for that dog to know that he's safe and he's like, like to me, like I feel like Geo found his home because he doesn't try to run away. He doesn't try to escape.
Yeah, he knows why would he?
Like with his mom. With me, he does it and he'll look back. He's like, oh, you're chasing me. And I'm like, that's why I'm like, how the hell do you know to look at both sides of the street? He's like looking at the street before he crosses. I'm like, what the F?
You taught him that. Yuki, what about you? What's your favorite fostering story?
Oh,
Ace.
I got a couple of them actually.
All right, well, lay them on us.
It
Well,
has to be Ace, right?
Ace could be one, but I
Ace
had
could.
one
I
funny
really thought Ace was
situation.
going to stay here forever, but go ahead. Yuki.
I had these 2 different dogs, of course. One was a big black dog, and one was a brown little dog named Mikey, I think.
Oh, yeah,
And
Mikey.
the prospective foster came over to meet the big black dog who he wanted to adopt.
What's the name of that dog, Yuki?
I forget the big black dog's
Okay.
name. But anyway, the quote prospective owner came over and started to pet the big black dog, and for some reason the big black dog didn't really respond, just sat there and accepted his attention. But Mikey, he came over and started licking his ear and was all friendly with him, and that prospective owner said, "Oh, this dog sure is friendly." And I'm going, "God dang it, get out of here. You're not the dog I'm supposed to have you adopt." And so I thought this Mikey dog was going to get adopted by this guy because he was so dang friendly to him, while the other dog was kind of like ignoring him. But thank God he did take the big black dog, and it turned out great.
Are you talking about Belle?
No.
No?
He wasn't a pit bull.
Okay.
Yeah. It
Okay.
was a different kind of retriever kind of dog.
Okay. I don't remember that
I think
dog.
this is before I met you.
I remember Mikey, though.
Yeah. He was a funny dog.
He was cute.
Another story. What I would do sometimes for this one rescue was I'd pick up the dog at the vets way out in, where was it, Yorba Linda,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is kind of far. But they would take the dog out of the shelter, get that dog either spayed or neutered. Then either that day or a couple of days later, I would pick up the dog at the vet and transport him to LAX, the airport, to meet with another person and rendezvous with that person, so that person can take that dog and fly it to West Virginia, I think, or Virginia Beach is where the ultimate destination was. Okay. But this one particular dog,
I know what you're going to say.
it was the rescue person on that end tried to get the dog in the carrier, and that dog was just a little bit too big. She did everything to stuff that dog in the pack, and of course, my job was done, so I just drove back home. And so when I looked at my phone as I got close to the house, I saw the text saying, "Oh, the airport denied the dog to get on the plane because he's too big, won't fit in the approved carrier." And I went, "Oh my God!" And I don't know what she had in her mind, thinking, "Oh man, I can't take this dog with me. What am I gonna do?" So when I read that text, I just turned around and went back on the freeway and got back to LAX and met her on the curb and said, "Hey, I'll take that dog back because you got to go back home, and you can't take this dog anyway. So I'll just take the dog home and deal with it somehow." And I text the rescue group and said, "Hey, the dog was just too big for the carrier. They would not allow it to travel. So what do you want to do?" And I didn't get a response right away. And but thank God, as it turned out, Jessica knew a couple, a wonderful couple.
Well, we know, if I can interject, if you don't
Sure.
mind. Yeah,
Sure, go
so
ahead.
we had a dog here named Gouda, and then the couple renamed him Ozzy. A wonderful couple, a good friend of ours, actually. They took, what's that little dog's name? They adopted her?
Mocha.
Mocha. psycho dog. Anyway, but they adopted her, and they adopted Gouda, who they renamed Ozzy. And then Ozzy, unfortunately, passed away. He was the sweetest dog. I mean, just like they loved him so much. And when that dog that you're referring to came back to the foster house, you can pick up the story now.
Yes.
But, yeah.
Jessica got a hold of that couple and said, "Hey, is it too early for you to consider getting another dog?"
Yep.
And they said, "No, it's not that early."
I may start crying. It was amazing. And they took him in. Yeah. And they have him to this day, and they love him so much. And it was there. And that's the thing about people in this world that we're in, you know, people that foster and adopt. It's like when things happen the way they're supposed to, it's magic. You know, it truly is magic. And you're right, Yuki, it was meant to be. He came back here. I can't remember that dog's name. I can see him, but I can't remember what they named him. Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Okay. But yeah, that's a great story.
But that was,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, it's like I said, fostering comes in different degrees and levels, and you just have to be very flexible and have your wits about you when things don't go as planned. You
That's
have to
right.
have some kind of sanity and logic to handle any weird situation. Like
Yeah.
my last litter, I took it upon myself to accept this mother dog that hadn't given birth yet. And the original owners, they were on vacation. And then when they were on vacation, that dog gave birth in this house.
Bailey.
Bailey, yes. And I called the rescue person and say, "Hey, I've been in contact with this the owners, and for some strange reason, they never said, 'Oh, when can we see her or pick her up?'" And she finally said, "I think they're not going to pick her up. They're not going to adopt it." And so I had the mom and 9 puppies, and that's something that had a very good ending. Still, all the puppies were adopted. I adopted one of her puppies, her daughter, Molly,
Yep.
who was very funny. But yeah, there's things that come up, and you just have to think it out and don't panic. You know, don't do the thing that we all regret that would happen is that you would return a foster dog to a shelter. That's just not in our vision at all.
Right.
So we do what we can to make sure that the dog is safe no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's part of the responsibility of being a foster.
Absolutely. And you and I definitely, like, I've been coming in and out of this house for probably 10 years now. And the beautiful thing about these types of friendships is that, you know, when you would go to work, I would come in, I would check on the puppies, I would feed the foster dogs. You know, we just worked together, because taking on too much on your own can be incredibly overwhelming. And that's when sometimes people don't have great fostering experiences, and then it doesn't end well. And ultimately, we're here for the well-being of the dog. I will say Ace is probably one of my favorites, just because he was here for so long. And Ace was a dog out of... And when I got to that day, I was looking at another dog, and I made the mistake of asking one of my friends who works there, "Hey, are there any dogs here that really need to get out?" I mean, they all really need to get out. But Ace was one of them, and he came into this home, and he transitioned. It took a little bit, but he was here for 2 years. And I really thought at one point, I was like, oh my gosh, I think Ace is going to wind up staying here forever. I'm like, Yuki, you're going to have to adopt Ace. But the beautiful thing about when he got adopted is that we are still very good friends with his parents. They were just here in December for a Christmas party. We see them often. And when Ace comes back over here, he has such a bond with Molly and Bailey that there's no issues with them. But we really gave him the opportunity, and Yuki, you opening up this foster house for him, there was no other way that he would have still even been alive today. And he's such a wonderful, wonderful dog. And the only other story that I'll interject with quickly is this dog, Baby Girl, that went into a foster home. And Saylan, like you had said, this family, especially the mom, was not really comfortable with, you know, pit bulls. She was afraid of them. and the husband, they decided to foster baby girl, and slowly, the mom came around to her. They'd actually fostered another pit prior to her, but when they fostered baby girl, like, his wife really started to understand the breed, understand, hey, these are just great dogs, wonderful. I mean, she's such a fantastic dog. But anyway, they had her for so long. They introduced her to other dogs. The story is fantastic. And they wound up adopting her, and she was one of those dogs that was kind of a harder to place dog. And when we put her in the foster home, it's like, oh my gosh, like, who's going to wind up adopting her? And one day we got a text from the foster family, and they were like, you know what? We've had her for so long. We love her. And we really feel like she's ours. And now she wears pajamas.
Oh,
she's
cute.
inside with the cats. But that is the magic, again. I know I keep saying it, but of fostering, of opening up your home, of being patient, of being loving, of slowly, like, expanding that dog's world so that they start to feel loved and safe, and then beautiful things happen, right?
True.
Yes.
So, Saylan, I just wanted to ask you also, like, what do you think would be the top, like, maybe 2 or 3 things that people really should consider when wanting to foster a dog, like, from your own experience?
I think knowing what you're getting into, right? Like, if you have questions, ask. If you need help, ask. If you don't know, ask. Because you don't want, like you said, you don't want it to be overwhelming. It can get overwhelming too. You also, if it's your first time, you're not going to know the answer to a lot of things. And there should be a support system where it makes it easy for you, where it's not going to be this horror story that you don't want to foster after this one, or you just want to return it, right? So having the knowledge to know and not to know is a good concept, I guess.
That's great.
And then I would say research your rescue. I think that is the
It's very
worst
smart.
scenario for people getting into foster, because I've had some horrible rescue I've been involved with. I've been involved with amazing rescue as well. And you think, like, all these big rescue that everyone's gung-ho about is so amazing, but you don't know what's behind closed door until you're a foster for them and you are left abandoned, which is a horrible story. So research your rescue. Know that the rescue with is going to back you up, because you all know that you guys foster that there is great rescue and there's shitty rescue, and the bigger name rescues are usually shitty rescues. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and sometimes you're right. Like, sometimes rescues will just disappear. I mean, our rescue, my sister and I, it's so small that we're probably overly involved. But you're absolutely right. Sometimes, people just want to save the dog, get the dog out, put the
get
dog
the
in a
grant.
foster. And then they just disappear. That's right.
A lot of big rescue has a lot of grants.
Yeah.
And a lot of things where it's great, but then it's that whole thing. You have all these grant and funding coming in, and do your research on your rescue. I don't think a reputable rescue should use any rescue fund as a source of income. That's all I could say.
Oh, yeah, we don't make any income off of rescue.
Oh, there's some
Or
that can write off
Horse
their
fostering.
mortgages if you ever look into it.
We spend a lot of money, that's for sure, but we don't make any money. But those are really smart things, because like you said, and I'll say it again, if you are a first time somebody, because we're going to talk about in a second, like, and if you want to touch on that, or Yuki, like, even how to get involved, but you've got to be smart about it. Ask the questions. I always tell my clients on the dog training end, don't be afraid to ask me questions if you're not sure, and which is obviously, it's a different subject, but, empower yourself. Ask the rescue, how long do you expect me to foster this dog? Is there any type of paperwork I have to fill out? Is there a contract? What do you provide? When will the dog go to the vet? Am I responsible for taking the foster dog to the adoption events? Like how I have a friend of mine that's fostering for a rescue, and I'll just leave it at that, and she's reached out to me several times because she's like, the rescue is not helping me at all adopt this dog out. And she's got 2 other dogs already in her home, and she took in this other dog to foster, and I've given her some guidance, and she's hanging in there for sure, but the rescue that she's fostering for,
That's why I
to
say
your
do your
point,
research. Do
that's
your
right.
research on your rescue.
Yeah.
Just because they're big, just because they're known, does not mean they're a great rescue.
That's right. And know 100% what you're getting into. Ask the questions, because at the end of the day, unfortunately, when things fall apart, the dogs are the ones that suffer.
They do.
And then, it just can become a really tragic thing for the dogs. So, Yuki, how would people get involved if they wanted to start fostering?
In my situation, I just took it upon myself to decide to adopt these, not adopt, but foster these 2 dogs that I saw on Facebook. And thank God they were so non-reactive kind of dogs where if I took in a 3rd dog, which I did, they didn't have any aggression or anything against the 3rd dog, which helped out a lot. And I was very lucky to have that experience. But I think in the long run, you should ask questions or get good advice from rescues and other fosters.
Yep.
Because learning on the run is pretty difficult.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. I thought it was at first. I thought, oh, these puppies are really cute. I won't have them for a very long time, and I'm sure they'll be adopted no problem. But certainly didn't be the case for these 2 dogs that I had started with. So it's a lot of work still, but in the end, it's very rewarding that someone does adopt it and they're very happy, and you see pictures of the dogs with the family, and it's just very rewarding to do that. So,
Yeah.
if you want to foster, know your limitations, do some research, think about what kind of equipment you might need to foster. Like this house here is set up with 3 gates.
Yep.
So we can control the flow of different dogs, different packs, so there's no problems. We try to socialize them as much as possible when they are here, but sometimes the DNA of a bigger dog isn't necessarily conducive to meeting a small prey type dog. So yeah, you really got to be careful. You can't trust all dogs. You just have to be super careful.
Yeah, those are great points, Yuki. I love that. Like, especially if you're bringing a dog into a multi-dog household, making sure that bringing in that initial,
Yes.
the foster dog is safe, and slowly integrating a pack, which for me, it would always be taking those dogs on a walk together. But sometimes, we have small dogs in this foster home, we have big dogs, and they stay in separate areas, and we've managed it really well. But just to be super cautious, take things slow, ask your questions. Like we discussed earlier, LA County, reaching out, finding out how you can become a foster through the county. Next door, I've talked about this on prior podcasts. That's a good way. Sometimes people will be asking, for fosters, things of that nature. But yeah, just really be thoughtful about it and start slow. And have a support system like the 3 of us have been able to support each other. And again, like you talked about, Jessie, a dog that we have in this house, she had a huge growth on her side, and she had to have surgery, and she had just had little puppies. And you were so gracious to take those puppies in, bottle fed them, you took care of them.
Yeah, my doggy did the
Yeah.
weaning, well, the pooing part.
The pee and the poo, but you fed them.
I still have that on Facebook.
And they came back
Your
here.
big German Shepherd licking their butts.
Yeah.
My chihuahua too. Don't forget the
So you didn't have to do that part. But when they came back here, Jessie wanted nothing to do with them, but you did the hard part.
Yeah.
Like you took care of them, and then
But they were
they.
eating already when they came back.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, they were
Jessie.
already- yeah.
True to Jessie. Jessie.
She was all like, I'm done. I
She's
had
like,
my freedom.
She's like, they're back. Those
She's like, I
babies
thought they
are
were
back."
gone.
Yeah. So
don't-
definitely ask
But
questions.
she would not have survived
Had
to
she
a
not
point
had the
where,
surgery.
she had to have surgery because she would not have survived past to where the puppies would be totally weaned.
Yeah. And so to have a network like we have, and for you to be able to step in and say, "Hey, I'll take those puppies,"
You were looking for a mama. I said, I don't have a mama, but I can feed them if you need.
but you did it, and that's how we make
Also, like,
stuff
I can feed
happen.
'em.
So have a great network of people that you trust, that you can rely on, but again, people are always saying, "Save the dog, save the dog." In order for people to save the dog, rescues to save the dog, we need people to open up their homes and their hearts, so we can provide them with that safe, loving, nurturing experience that will help them thrive in order for them to go into their forever homes and be successful there. So do you guys have anything you want to add as we're wrapping up? Saylan!
I don't have anything to add.
Woo-woo! All righty, so here we are.
Yes.
Cheers again, you guys. Actually, this is a little addicting. I thought it was going to be super sweet, and I don't like sweet at all. This
No.
is very refreshing.
Citrusy.
That's what I'm saying. It's like super
Yeah.
lemony. Put a straw in that bottle, and you're good to go. Put your butt in a lawn chair.
I think we finished the bottle.
We're gonna finish the bottle for sure. You can hang out at the Foster house as long as you want to. And again, it's so great to have you here. Super
I'm
excited.
sleeping over.
You can sleep over
Joking.
as long as you're okay with a dog or two on your lap or
You
on
know,
your head.
I think I sleep with like 7 of them.
Oh, I have 5. Well, I have 4 on me, and then
Well,
one.
cats. I have like 2 chihuahuas, like one here, one here.
Yeah.
Gracie here, Mochi here, Grizzly here.
It's-
oh yeah, there's like 7.
Yeah, it's your own weighted
Panda,
blanket,
Boba.
right?
Yeah.
On top of the weighted blanket,
Yeah,
which I
there's-
do
there's
love the
like
weighted
7 of them.
blanket. Thanks for that. Maybe we'll talk about a weighted blanket later. Anyway, all right. So we're talking about fostering, but it has been one doggo of a couple weeks. It's actually been pretty stressful, I would have to say. We've had a lot going on at the foster house. We've had a lot going on with some dogs here. I personally own several dogs, and I also watch a few dogs here that are clients and friends' dogs, and I take that responsibility very, very seriously. And I had a friend / client. I started training this dog when she was just a puppy. She's 7 years old now. And she had been at the house, I think 4 or 5 days. And one night she got super sick, like throwing up, diarrhea. And then she went outside to use the restroom and she peed all blood. And at that point I was like, put your bra on, get your clothes on, get in the car and take this dog to the vet. And the reason I'm sharing this, even though she's not a foster dog, when you do take a dog into your home,
Your responsibility.
you are so responsible.
Your responsibility.
I mean, I have been so stressed out and so actually, I mean, sad. You know, it was such a harrowing experience. I mean, and then I drove her to an emergency vet in the middle of the night, which this is actually great information for all of you out there that are going to be fostering dogs or are currently fostering. Make sure that the rescue puts you down as somebody that can make medical decisions for the dog. Because when I got to the emergency vet, they would not treat her because she was not my dog. And so it was incredibly stressful for me.
So you had to get a hold of her.
The owners were out of town, and I called. It was like 3:00 in the morning, and I just like sat there with her, and I was like, okay. And I knew she was going to be okay at that point, like instinctively. Her gums, you know, were pink, and her nose was cold, and she hadn't thrown up or had diarrhea. But had she been in a real state of like something really traumatic happening, I probably would have jumped over the counter. I would be in jail, but they would have treated that dog. But it's very important to make sure that you have that type of connection with your rescue or whoever you're fostering for, because things happen with dogs. Now, this is the first time I've ever had an issue ever with this dog. And like I said, she's been in my life for almost her entire life, so 7 years. But came back home, didn't sleep at all. You know, like slept with one eye open, had my hand on her the entire night. I mean, talk about stressful. Because if anything had happened to her, it just would have,
You'll
it
feel
honestly would have
responsible.
killed me.
Yeah, you would.
It would have
'cause it's
been
under your
devastating.
care. I
That's
get it.
right. And so, and then Yuki, you've had some issues with one of your own personal dogs. And these are the things that, like, again, and you'll go into that in a second, but that kind of responsibility, whether it's your dog, a foster dog, a client's dog, it is so important to make sure that your home environment is safe, that it's secure, that it's sanitary, and that if something is to happen, that you're able to get that dog to where it needs to go for that type of medical attention. And thank the good Lord, honestly, that my friend's dog was okay, because
What was wrong with her?
you know what? She actually, yesterday, she wound up, the owner texted me, who's a very good friend of mine, and she wound up having to go back to the emergency vet.
But they didn't know what was wrong with her originally.
And they dismissed her again. So she's going to go to her regular vet tomorrow. Her vitals were good, but she had diarrhea. She did not want to eat. She could have, like, they said she could have passed a kidney stone here It could be something with her liver.
But you would have seen the kitties though.
Well, no, because 3 o'clock in the morning outside in the yard, I would have not. When she peed blood, the only thing I saw was, oh my gosh, she has just peed blood. Jessica, get dressed, get your keys. I ran out of this house. And then I'm like, could she have ingested something? But we are so cautious. You know, my dogs are like my babies. And so when I bring somebody else's dog into this house or wherever I am, I mean, triple that. You know what I mean? 100 times that. So we'll know more tomorrow, but I texted her mom today and I just said, hey, how's our girl doing? And she said, great. They gave her antibiotics at the emergency vet yesterday. They gave her something to stimulate her appetite. They gave her anti-nausea medication. So I'm not sure yet what's happening with her, but it was very, very stressful. So it's just something to take into consideration. Does your car work? Do you have a car? Because if something is happening with a dog in your care, you have to make sure it's incredible. I mean, I drove like a bat out of hell to that vet.
Just to let you guys know, they do have ambulance service for dogs.
So what is it?
They do have ambulance service for dogs and cats.
Ambulance? Yeah. So how do you get a hold of them?
You call the emergency vet and says you need a dog ambulance.
Really?
I paid for one. I didn't like
Well,
one
that's got to
emergency
be
vet.
super expensive.
650 like 12 years ago.
$650 for a vet to come to your
No,
ambulance?
to an ambulance to transfer my dog from one urgent care to another because she was a douche. I didn't want to deal with her. I was like, nope. She was like, I pay for that oxygen. It's coming with. No, I mean, I pay for that oxygen. It's coming
Okay,
with
well,
my
somebody
dog.
like you can pay $650 for it, but most people.
But
I
I'm
mean,
just
I
saying,
would if I had to, but I didn't
understand.
even know it was a thing.
No, there is. Just to let you know you need it. There is such a thing.
All right, so we've got animal ambulances, but Yuki, why don't you tell us a little bit? Because I know it's been a little stressful for you. I think you've had 15 minutes of sleep.
Yes, my personal dog, Jessie, who was the mom of 5 baby chihuahuas here, which you hand
Fostered,
fed.
yep.
But she came down with pancreatitis, and I dealt with that, and she recovered. But then a couple days later, she came down with something else. We thought it was pancreatitis, so I took her back to the emergency. They gave her some more meds, and she bounced back again for a couple of days. Then this third time, not quite the same symptom, but this doctor there, it was a different doctor, he massaged the dog and touched the body and everything to see if there's any things physically wrong. And he found out that neurologically, her lower spine area was very sensitive and painful. And so he deducted that the intense pain was causing her not to eat.
And this was just last night,
Yes.
early
last
this morning.
night. Yeah.
All the days are running into one
And
another.
a lot of vet places are very busy where
Yes.
this particular vet place, the wait time was between 4 to 6 hours just to have the vet see them. So now she's back. She's on pain meds. We're going to go one step at a time, make sure that the meds will take care of the pain situation where she can recover and start eating and doing, being regular again. But
Jesse.
if that doesn't happen, then it'll go on to X-rays, and then ultimately, I hope, but it might end up where she could have surgery to replace the disc, so it will take care of that pain.
We pray that's a no. But honestly, all this has happened within the past week.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and then also having the foster dog here that again is an incredible dog. And like you, because I know you love the shepherds, I'm a pity girl, but
I'm actually a Rottweiler girl.
are you? I gotta get
really-
you a Rottie.
I had a family of 4 originally.
Okay,
Then
well,
my husband loved shepherds, and then we had 6 shepherds.
is that what it is? Okay. So your
6.
next dog's maybe one Rottie, one shepherd.
You know, I'm not sure because I had a roller coaster with my I'm a huge big dog lover, and now only 2 chihuahuas, you will never know. But I have to say, with the hip dysplasia, degeneration,
yeah.
myopathy. Oh, what else did they have? They had hip dysplasia and what was it? Dementia, where it got so bad their body just gave up on them. Yeah. It's a lot to like put a. Oh, it's okay. Put a I mean, I have oversized shepherds, so I think my shepherds are 100 pounds to 136 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard to put a 100-pound shepherd in a wheelchair.
Yeah, so it's been a lot. Some of my own personal dogs have not been feeling well. And I did have some leftover antibiotics, though. And I was like, you know what? Instead of rushing to the vet for $1,500.
I'm a walking dog pharmacy. If you ever
That's
need
the
anything.
thing. Like now I'm like, okay, I've got Panicure, because when I had Roly Poly out of the shelter, that little puppy,
Oh, yeah, he
a
was
really
so
good
cute.
friend of mine from another rescue, she gave me this huge thing of Panicure. So now I'm like, okay, what do I have here that could possibly help, one of my dogs that isn't feeling well? And actually the dog that wasn't feeling great, she's doing great now. But honestly, I think, and I made a post the other day actually on Facebook. I'm like, how do my fellow rescuers even sleep? Because you get so wound up and so tired and so worn out. Because sometimes I know for me, like my dogs are, they're my babies. And then when you have a friend's dog at the house or a client's dog at the house, and then we had a dog that we fostered for just a very short period of time. But for me, my attention to making sure that everything goes well is so heightened that it can become, it's just so incredibly stressful. Not sleeping, worrying about everything. Do you guys agree?
I just don't sleep.
Totally.
You just don't sleep.
It's easier. Very
Yeah, seriously. And we had, again, that great dog that was here, and she decided she really wanted to meet Yuki's two big dogs in the backyard, and we had not, introduced them. We had not integrated them. And next thing I know, the dog that I was fostering for somebody that I know had gone through the screen window, and she was all of a sudden in the backyard, and I'd already not slept because I'd just gotten home from the emergency vet with my friend's dog. So I'd literally been up at that point like 24 hours, and my mind was just, I was just overly tired. And all of a sudden I see this foster dog out in the backyard, and Yuki's holding his two big dogs, and I'm like, how did she get outside? How did she get into the
I
backyard?
think Molly would have been okay with her, but Bailey, no.
Actually, Molly growled and Bailey was
Really?
okay.
It was the
Well,
opposite?
actually, Molly did growl, but she just stood there. It's
'Cause
Bailey
Molly
that
is
It was
always
so
Bailey
fast,
was
though.
shocked and surprised that she actually tried to protect herself.
Yeah, because if
But-
you were walking right through the back gate,
Yeah.
and she had just gone through the window, and I really think if
It's perfect timing that you
that's
guys were
exactly
both there.
what I'm saying. If Yuki had not been walking through the gate at that point, and I'm just looking at this dog in the backyard, I'm like, okay, I shut the doors, the gates are closed. How in the world? And I'm like, what is going on?
This shepherd can jump
And
like
Yuki's
a 6
like,
foot.
she went through the
walk.
screen. And I was
She could probably jump over. Oh, sorry.
uh-oh,
Jump
don't
over this.
spill in your yuzu
Oh,
or whatever it's
Buttercup
called. Is it
wanted
yuzu?
some.
Boys,
Buttercup was like, let me have a
Don't be
shot.
spilling your booze. That's precious stuff.
Buttercup, it was for Buttercup. Okay.
Anyway, it was so stressful. And so I made that post and I got 50 responses. All my rescue peeps are like, do this, do that, just to try to get some sleep. Because again, the responsibility of taking care of dogs, your own personal dogs, foster dogs, friends' dogs, clients' dogs, it's a commitment, and it can be incredibly stressful. And that midnight trip, 3 a.m. trip to the emergency vet is never fun. Right, Yuki?
That's for sure. Waiting 3, 4, 6 hours just for the vet to watch.
Yeah.
Or take a look at the dog is
here we
very
are.
tiring for one thing.
I don't even know what day it is. What day is it?
Is Monday.
Monday.
Yes.
Okay, so with rushing dogs to emergency vets and having ambulances pick up our dogs, and I think we're going to talk about this on a later podcast, but what would make that more,
Cost efficient.
yes, thank you, cost efficient, perfect.
I have pet insurance
Okay.
for all my animals, all 7 of them. I used
Do
to have.
you?
Oh yeah, when I had big dogs, I was paying $1,100 a month.
Oh, wow.
For $9.
Who do you use?
Back then I had,
Okay.
but now
a good
I
one.
have. I still like,
Okay.
but I did not like their yearly increase one year because I think Mr. Tank went 80%. I was like, what the heck? But
What do you mean? Like you're paying 80 or no?
well, you know, every they give you a flat rate that when you enroll, it's how old your dog is, what breed your dog is, and statistically in your area, the rate that they spend on that kind of breed around like demographically whatever your breed is, right, annually. And then every year they do this whole survey again, supposedly according to them, and it could stay the same, it could increase according to whatever the survey goes. So one year, Mr. Tank went up 80%. And I was like, I'm not paying $300 extra a month. I already pay $90.
Wow, that's a lot.
I was like, well, I'm not paying $390 for a mixed breed, a large mixed breed.
Yeah.
He wasn't like a full breed. He was a pit bull Rottweiler. I was like,
Yeah.
he's not a pit bull. He's not a Rottweiler. He's a large mixed breed. Right? So I was like, I'm not doing this. And then it wasn't just him. Like I said, there's 9 dogs, $1,100 a month for 9 dogs, and I paid it for like 4 years. Like it would just increase a little bit here and there.
Yep.
But one year it jumped real high with, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna factor it in. And then I was like, well, he already had 2 ACL done, and all the other stuff. So I like chose and select what dog I wanted to keep on insurance because that to me was like, it might not be. I'm not paying $400 a month for a dog to have insurance times 12. That's almost $4,800 a year.
Yeah.
And then what if I don't use it, right? And then that I still have to hit my deductible. I still have in most dog insurance, the good ones that don't have a max, they don't pay for dental, spay and neuter, vaccine, doctor
Right.
visit, biohazard, consultation fee, whatever the listing goes on and on. So I pick and choose, and then I was introduced to, and I was introduced to them in a horrible way, because when I got insurance originally for my dog through, my number one concern for German Shepherd was hip dysplasia.
Hip dysplasia for sure.
It's on
'cause
my
they're
call.
predisposed to
They
it.
all
Yeah.
record your call. Same things like, oh, okay, your covered dysplasia. That she said, yeah. Well, my dog Rocky ended up having degeneration myopathy, and she told me it wouldn't cover his degeneration myopathy because it's a hip related thing. And I said, no, I specifically asked you. So I said, request a call back. And one thing about me is I never back down. If I feel like I'm right, I'm going to have you trace. I don't care if it's 5
Especially
years
when
ago.
it comes to our doggos,
Yeah,
right?
5
There's
years
no
ago,
backing
you're going to
down.
look. I said, you record the calls, go 5 years into my enrollment date. I bet you anything for his enrollment date, I asked you about hip dysplasia. And you told me it was included. So she said, oh, we got the call, but I said, there's no but. It's either you cover dysplasia or we're going to no longer be
Right.
with you.
Because you said you would, right?
Yeah,
So
I
then-
said that was my main concern. And,
Right.
and nowhere in there, your customer service said, oh, you need to add a rider insurance on top of it to cover dysplasia. Nowhere that conversation had ever came up. So she's like, yeah, but and at the butt, I said, okay, then cancel the whole trip. Everyone went on.
Okay. Well, we're going to have you back for the insurance episode for sure. I mean,
And
oh
ways to
my
go around dog insurers.
Seriously, because it is so expensive. And now, I mean, if they opened up another bottle of this, we could just sit here and talk for another like
You might
2
record your
hours
second
for sure.
podcast.
We could just roll right into the insurance. We need a clothing change. I've got plenty of clothes.
I'm cool.
We're just going to roll right into the next episode. But yeah, so we're definitely going to touch on that. I think we will have you come back if you'd like to.
Sure, why
Because
not?
insurance is such a big deal. I actually saw the other day on the news, I was telling you, Yuki, they had a whole episode. It was like one of our local news channels, like on insurance for dogs, which is such an issue because you go to the vet and like my friend, when she took her dog to the vet yesterday because she wasn't
Wait, did you have
eating
insurance?
and diarrhea, it was a $3,000. The
Vet
bill
is
was
insane.
$3,000, and I mean they can, without. But she opted to. She's going to have her dog seen by the regular vet tomorrow because, the dog's vitals were good and all that. Obviously,
Oh, this was at the emergency.
yeah. And if
Okay.
it had been in an emergency, she would have paid the bill. But you think the average person, which we are average people, but people that it's expensive.
I'm
And
an
when-
average person, but I work for the dogs and
That's
cats.
right. Well, me too. I just pay the freaking bills.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
that's
these
all the
dogs,
money
I'm
goes
like,
to.
they're just like, hanging out, getting pets, getting love. So yeah, we'll definitely cover that again because it's super important. And I always tell my clients, especially when you get a puppy, like make sure you get insurance because there's no pre-existing conditions.
But there's ways around going pre-existing condition too.
Okay, well, you're definitely going to be our guest on that.
There's definitely ways around going it because I got Rocky covered through his
'cause
pre-existing condition. I was like, just you didn't go to that vet. That vet didn't see you.
Yeah.
That's not a pre-existing condition anymore. Let's go to another vet.
That's right. And just, we discovered this right now. Yeah. I mean, my dog that had cancer, although he was Buttercup's brother and he was older, 13, so I wouldn't have put him through like
with older dogs, it's hard to get. It's hard to get insurance too.
And I had at one point I had 10 dogs and I had insurance for every single one of them, but it was, and I think I used the insurance.
Was there a max on yours? Because
I paid 80%.
No, max like annually.
I can't remember.
Because like every time I probably foster over 100 animals.
Me too. I've had like 150 come through my other house that I lived in.
Because you're insane.
Yeah,
but
I am insane.
Everybody, you know how
But in a
Works
good way.
offers dog insurance and cat insurance, so they will send it to me. There's a max annually, like 5,000 to 10,000. Which is nothing.
I don't know if I had a max, but I mean, I was paying for it. And then one time I took, I'm looking for her. She's in heaven. My Blossom. I took her to the vet once. She had something going on, and they gave me the most difficult time to get reimbursed. They were like, and she was a dog from a rescue that I'd had forever. And I was like, I don't have all of her medical information from her. I mean, she was found in a park. And it was like, I'd only utilized that insurance.
But the insurance should only cover, when you do your enrollment date, they ask you when you adopted the pet.
Yeah.
So whenever the date that you gave them, you adopt a pet, you need within that first year, a medical, like a vet record saying that they seen the dog is healthy, and after that only. It's only dated back to the 1 year.
I had that, but they gave me such a hard time, and that's when I was like, you know what?
That's why I said there's shitty health insurance for dogs too, because like all the ones that comes with your work and stuff, max is 5,000 to 5,000 and I was like,
for a year?
Yeah, per year. Yeah. But they're like, oh, we cover dental, we cover vaccinate. Yeah, but you don't like. An MRI is $6,000.
Oh yeah.
What is that gonna? It's not gonna cover your MRI.
They don't need another board of teleshot. They need,
exactly. I was like, no, that doesn't work.
Okay. All right. So just to wrap up, we went down the rabbit hole of insurance, but I'm so glad we did because we're going to talk about that at a later podcast. But this one was about fostering, and really just the final word on fostering is that rescues cannot save dogs without fosters. But in order to be a thoughtful, successful foster, you need to ask questions like you said. You need to do research on the rescue that you are going to foster for. Potentially meet the dog if you can prior
Yeah, you have to make sure you have a bond and understanding of the dog's behavior.
Yeah. And
because you want to set yourself up for success.
For success and the dog.
Exactly.
I say that all the time. Set yourself up for success. Set the dog up for success. But we'll have some bullet points, below this podcast, how you can get involved, questions you should ask, what does the rescue provide? But fostering saves lives for sure. And it was just such a pleasure to have you today. Oh my gosh, you are like just a beautiful human being inside and out. And just cheers to you.
I'm out, Yuki.
Yuki, she's out.
She's out.
Fill her up.
Oh my goodness.
I think you're too slow, Yuki.
Yes.
Just, yeah. A little more for me, I'm out too.
Okay.
Oh, wait, so I wasn't the only one.
This helps our ladies talk.
I think you need to drink more then because you're not talking
Actually,
much.
this was surprisingly, I think I've said it 10 times, delicious. It was really good.
That's it.
Saylan,
For the next time,
Cheers,
we'll
my
get another
friend.
bottle or something.
Wait for Yuki.
Okay.
cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you again for joining
To
Triple
the
D's.
animals, to the dogs and cats.
to the doggos in our lives that we love so much. Fostering. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.